Okay, it's on. Here we go. Hello. My name is... Captains are on. Captain John. No. Hi, Joko here, and I am going to be looking at a Task 1 IELTS writing paper. Very simple graphic, and I'm calling it Make Relevant Comparisons because this is the one thing that the writer fails to do more than anything else. So let's focus on the failures, shall we? No. There's some very good things in this Task 1 writing. Okay, so how do I advance? Okay, so let's talk about some basics with Task 1. Now, there in that picture, that's band 5, 6, and 7 for task achievement. Not task response, task achievement. In Task 1, you're given some very specific things that you must do. You must achieve the requirements of the task. No, it shows up in several places. Okay? So, what are these requirements of the task? You'll see it band 8, band 9 too. Well, they're given to you right there in the instructions. Yeah, and with a real Task 1, it always is going to include the following instruction. Summarize the information by selecting and recording the main features and make comparisons where relevant. And I've gone over many times how to find the requirements of the task in that sentence, so I'm going to skip that for now, come back to it. Alright, now I say an exercise because the line graph you're about to see, I recognize it. It's from Complete IELTS by Cambridge University Press. All rights to them. Good. And it wouldn't be a Task 1 by itself because it's too simple. It's only got 8 data points. Data point is a position where you can find some numbers. 8 of them. Okay, 4 for each line. I've seen them as low as 10, but really, that's really quite too simple. 8 to unlikely to find something this simple. Alright, but it's good for practicing how to notice trends and make comparisons. Alright, and after you've analyzed the graph, you'll want to do so with your overview in mind. And your overview really should cover as much of the data as possible in as few words as possible. Okay? Summarize means to report the most important information in as few words as possible. So what can we say about everything in one sentence? It's going up. Okay? Yes, and overall, the number of books being checked out has increased. Yeah, but when you're analyzing, add numbers together, combine things. Like this one, you'll see what I mean here in a moment. Arrows. So really drill it down. Where's my first? These 2 arrows. Okay, number of books. It's not such high math that you can't figure it out. All right, so let's start. 3,000, 5,000. Okay. All right. Oh, look, 10,000 and 10,000. Oh, you can add those numbers together and get a nice 20,000. Compared to 3, 5, 8. Wow, okay, so more than double in that time. But here's one they're just begging you to notice. Here, 14,000 books. Here, 7,000 books. What can you tell me about those 2 people? Men were reading twice as many books as women in 2014. That kind of comparison, that doubling, look, twice as many. That's the kind of thing that you want to compare. Those are large comparisons and between categories, not just between times. So if I were to write an overview for this, I would do so like so. Okay. So the number of men in the group. So here's my overview. Overall, books were checked out from the library more than twice as often at the end of the period compared to the beginning of the period. But I don't need to say that. However, this trend varied tremendously by gender. Note, what do you not include in your overview? Specifics. Don't include any data, like years, even years. That doesn't belong in the overview. That belongs in the body paragraphs. It's also a good idea to set up your overview to mirror the body paragraphs that are going to follow. So what I would do if I was following this up with the next body paragraph, we talk about the first 1 year. Books were checked out in the library once or twice a month. Okay? So I'd say, then I'd give this data. I would compare here to here, 2011, 2014. I would start with 8,000 were checked out in 2011, with 5,000 and 3,000 by men and women respectively. Whereas, by comparison, in 2014, over 20,000 books were checked out. However, nearly 3/4 of them, 2/3 of them actually is what you'd say, were checked out by men. Chakra payment, shut up, my man. What is it saying down there? Google Translate doesn't work well with my very slow internet speed. Okay, here's what you wrote. The given line graph, demonstrates information. I do not like the use of the word demonstrate in the introduction. If it says shows, like it does, use illustrates. It illustrates, it doesn't demonstrate. Demonstrate requires an active thing. Okay? That requires, it implies some kind of movement or activity. It doesn't demonstrate it. It's just sitting there. It illustrates. Information about the Burton Free Public Library. Information. Oh, now you want another sentence, you tell us what. You could summarize these two by making it into a single sentence. It shows. Well, okay, great. So anything, you used, a synonym for, no, not really, but now you've copied the word from the sentence. How many? Well, of course it's library books. What other kind of books would it be from the public library? Okay, overview. Overall, it is evident from first glance. Okay, now you use that on every task 1, right? That's just your canned line that you put in for everything, regardless of what the task is. Don't do that. Yes, it is good to have some set phrases that you can use, but it's not completely evident from first glance. Not really. It's not completely evident at first glance. At first glance? Why say at first glance? Alright, so you got but you did get the main information, which was increases for both. Okay, see, now you're going into details. In 2013 to 2014, men exceeded the number of women. Really? The men exceeded the women? Maybe it was just about, a couple of hundred guys who checked the books out often. Average man checks out. Well, the point is that the chart shows the number of books, not the number of men and women. So that's not accurate. And so when you include a inaccurate point in your overview, it's not good for your task sheet. Okay, while books read by women witnessed downward trend. They did? The books witnessed them? Okay, well, I suppose. So you're trying to squeeze in vocabulary. Witnessed a downward trend. And no, it's not a trend. Trend is a change over time that continues. When you see here, this is 1 year. 1 year cannot be a trend. 2 years, that's a trend. It went up and it went up again. That's a difference over time that continues. This is a fall. It's just a fall, it's not a trend. Keep those in mind. Okay, body paragraph 1 and 2. So wait, what was your... So, evidence. Alright, so now we're going to see... The next paragraph should be about 2011 to 2013. Right? Because that's what it's in the overview. No, it's not about 2011 to 2013. It's about men. So your body paragraphs don't reflect the overall, don't reflect what you said in your overview. It was about 2020. Now that's wrong. It is quite clearly 3,000. In fact, maybe even a little bit more than 3,000. It's not about 2,000. Well above that. 2011. It's about 2,000 in 2011. Which rose slightly. 2011 rose? Okay, oops, go back. Your relative pronoun, which, should follow the noun or noun phrase which it is relating to. It rose slightly. Now, your numbers are wrong. Of course, it says 3,000. But going from 2,000 to 4,000, is that a slight rise? It's a doubling. It's more than twice. Twice as much. So it's not a slight rise. It didn't rise slightly. It didn't, comparatively. What happened then? There was a boom. Booms happen in business. If this was selling of books, boom would be appropriate. But there was a boom in the number of books read by men. From 4,000. Wait, the men are from 4,000? Okay, you need a comma there. From 4,000 to exactly 10,000. Why do you think it's exactly 10,000? Why is it exactly 10,000? Can you imagine the odds of the number of books at that number of it being exactly 10,000? It's impossible. Graphs. Yeah, you got a microscope and see where it is? It could have been 10,007. We don't know. It's not exact. Okay, you get this between thing mixed up. When did from 2012 to 2020? And once again, your relative pronoun, which you shouldn't be repeating like this, is confusing in regards to what it modifies. In the year 2014, you don't need to say year. We know what these numbers mean, and end it up. Hey, now, great. Can you compare that to where it started? No. You compare that to where women are? No. Women read about 5,000 books. From the birth. I should hope so. At this point, we know what library we're talking about. In addition, no, not a good connector there. Put spaces in between your words there. Okay. Alright, so the number increased sharply between 2011 and 2013. 10,000. I suppose. Steadily. And reached at peak. At peak. Reached a peak. There's not enough data here for there to be a peak. And reached a peak of 10,000. When? And for women, of course, the whole paragraph's about women. However, in the year, just 1 year, you got 2 years, books read by women experienced, is that like witnessed again? A sudden fall. A sudden fall. It's 1 year out of 3, 4. How can it be a sudden fall? You're just throwing in vocabulary because you think you're going to get extra points for it, when it's not really reflecting the important things here. And you know what? It hit a sudden fall of about 2,000. Okay, so there it is, 10,000. Wow, you're off there. Okay, in 2014, it was quite clearly 7,000. And it fell by 3,000, hit the lowest at 8,000. So this is inaccurate reporting. And you've reported everything. Everything, not everything, everything. Summarize means to report the most important information. Don't report everything, because that's not summarizing. See, with a task like this, it's easy to do because it's so small. But you're not going to get something like this in the written text. Okay, well, one thing I forgot to show you here. Here's paragraph 167. You use the word books 7 times. Read 7 times. Women, number. These 5 or 6 words right here take up 14, 20, 25, 28, 30. Almost a quarter of your whole essay is just 5 or 6 words. Books read in that order was used 5 times. Number of books. It leaves out the little words. That was a key feature where those lines intersect with the doubling. You have to make comparisons. And if you make inaccurate points, you're not going to get better than 6. Okay? But it won't fall into 5. But there you go. Hope that's a good lesson for you in task 1. Making comparisons, how important it is. Look beyond the basics. Just mechanically going 1 year to next year, 1 year to next year. Look at the big picture and add numbers together and compare larger categories of data.